motivation. Everything that happens is motivation. Everything that happens is motivation.
Hello everyone, if I can get your attention. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate you. Alright. So I want to first, before we get started, thank you so much for coming out. Everyone, I really appreciate you guys. This is our Vegas crypto community. We throw monthly meetups. My name's Mike. Thank you so much for coming out. You can also go buy a life-size box or whatever that says on the screen. And at the time, let's go ahead and get this started. Before I do, I want to make sure everyone got a raffle ticket for the Litecoin Summit. I'm gonna have a little talk with you guys here shortly, but I want to bring up some of the community members that want to speak tonight. So we really appreciate it. We've got about 5 or 6 speakers, and let's go ahead and start with Majid, unless anybody else wants to jump up. Majid, okay, Majid, come on up. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much.
I got to meet a lot of you guys individually. I love the Vegas community. I moved here from Chicago a couple of years ago. Been an enthusiast in this space since 2015. I have a good friend of mine, Corey Warfield, who has about 500,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've done a lot of B2B work in that space, and so we just decided to start a couple of things in space, and we've been pretty inspired by what we've been creating. So we started to utilize my resources. I've been in the sustainability space for the last decade, and so we're helping projects that want to be green, right? In the blockchain space, we're getting them ISO certified. We have one of the top ESG teams in the world that come in and you really evaluate them and make sure that it's actually something that they want to do, and they're actually going to follow the steps to get it done and get those things quantified. That way people can stop talking about this whole green problem in the blockchain space, right? So, but through that we built an incubator, an accelerator where we have some projects that are either de-risking the space or making it a bit more frictionless, and then there's projects that are some things that were just inspired by cool things that cool people are doing, which is a lot of us, right? So some of the things that we're seeing, because everyone of us probably has a MetaMask wallet and has probably done some transactions, but would you guys agree that's probably not something that my grandmother would do, or somebody who's not a crypto native? Like we have a really great crypto community, but it's also about onboarding the rest of them, right? So there's some really great transitions to, first of all, kind of make the space less risky for people, right? So we have projects like Purple Ants that are coming into the space and bringing insurance products to the space, both for NFTs, so things like rug pull insurance, or even custom products for, actually we're talking to this group called Silks, this shirt that I'm wearing, and they basically have taken horses in the real world and created a digital version of that horse, and so when that horse wins races, your digital horse also gets paid. It's an NFT project. And if the real horse has a calf, then you also get airdrop that calf. Some really cool functionality within the horse racing space. But they came to us and they said, well, if the real horse breaks his leg, he has insurance, but if our digital horse breaks his leg, and we have insurance for that for our community. And so those are the type of products that we're working with different projects with, all the way to working with exchanges and different organizations that are really looking to have a space that their community come to and feel that if any shenanigans do happen, which does happen in our space. If you haven't been rug pulled, then you haven't been in this space. Or, it's happened to me a couple of times. I think it's happened to all of us. But it's about making sure that the next group of people that come into this space, they don't have to come in, beat up. You don't have to get all these bumps and bruises along the way, and we can make this process frictionless and seamless. So we have other projects that are automated smart contract protocols like On Planet. They're doing some really cool stuff with being able to toggle functionality within NFTs mid-term, right? So like, let's say you get your NFT, you could actually do things with it while you're, while you have it. It's a dynamic NFT. So there's a lot of really cool things to just make the space a bit easier for people to enter into. We're working with projects called like Super Kids, where they're doing a learn-to-earn game for kids. When the kid, like we've homeschooled our kids for a long time, and since we started working with them on schooling stuff, but they play a lot of games, math games and reading games and learning games. So they're basically taking that and basically have like a proof of action type blockchain. So every time, or consensus mechanism, that way every time there's a interaction, the kid beats a level or passes a class, they then get earn tokens and gamify the experience, and then those tokens, you could leverage into other opportunities for that child as they get older. So a lot of really cool things that we feel could, disrupt different places, whether that's education. Our project personally that Corey and myself are working on, and I'll kind of end it with this, and if you guys have any questions, obviously you guys, because we're, like I said, we wanted a Q&A, and then I know there's a couple other really awesome speakers that are jumping up that I'm excited to hear from. But we consider our project the future of work. So my partner, Corey, he's a very busy guy. He coaches a lot of executives, founders across different industries on LinkedIn, but there's only so many people he could work with, right? So, and he doesn't want to work that much. He's about to get married and do all that stuff. So what we're doing is we're taking a lot of his intellectual IP and we're putting it into think of it like a really highly advanced chatbot, which is AI and deep machine learning. So that way, when his client asks a question, then his avatar or his bot could basically respond to that question without Corey having to be there. So when we're about 30% done with the tech, we're still working on a bit more, but we want to prove it out with Corey, and that at that time, basically Corey got his time back, and his intellectual IP is actually out there working for him 24/7. It doesn't get sick, it doesn't have an attitude. It could work. It could work in any country. It could speak as many languages as it wants to. So the key is to, once we prove that out, we're then want to do it for everybody else. That way, everybody that has some intellectual IP, they want to have it go to work for them, not just now, but for an eternity, right? We're just really creating different types of legacies for families moving forward. So that's our project that we're personally working on. If you guys have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them, and then I'm excited to hear some of the other speakers as well.
Yeah, when will the horses be accessible?
When will the horses be accessible for Silks? Actually, I'm not sure if they just minted out, but I believe it's silks.io. I'm on their Discord as well. They're a Discord group. Silks is pretty cool. The horse racing market, I don't know if you guys paid attention, it's really hot. Like Zed Run, all these projects that are out there, they're super hot. But yeah, shout out to Silks. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Any other questions?
you have a website or contact?
We're doing a lot of things on stealth. This is not very stealthy. But right now we're just kind of building our infrastructure pieces in. I do a lot of my communicating either through LinkedIn or WhatsApp, but happy to connect with you there. MAGID, last name Zafer, Z-A-F-E-R. You can look me up on LinkedIn. I talk a lot about my sustainability stuff and one line about what we do on the crypto side. You know, the thing I love about this space is that it's extremely collaborative, right? The amazing founders that we've had the pleasure to work with, you know, these guys all work together. You know, it's cool because a lot of times I'll be on a call and there'll be like 4 or 5 of the founders that we work with, you know, within our own, you know, ecosystem that are talking to a client together. Because if you build the right on-ramp and you make it really easy for a client to be able to take it from where they are to where they, you know, possibly could be, you know, then making that process frictionless for people. You know, it's cool to see how everybody's interlinking. It's not competition. It's a lot of collaboration. It's a lot of fun. So I was talking to some people here earlier, you know, if you have an idea, if you know, there's no too young, there's no too old, there's no too anything. Your experience in the real world matters. You bringing that here matters. You know, it's not just one voice. Where you realize when you get into this space, your one voice echoes out many, many times because your one voice, it inspires somebody else, and they talk about it, and they talk about it, right? So it's that community compounding. You know, that's what's great about this space. That's why it's called on fire. That's why it's gotten to where it's at today. That's what I love about it.
Exactly.
All right, you're good. All right, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Majid. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. I think we got John coming up next. Yeah. All right. This is again our open mic night, first annual. So thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm John. You'll see me online as AlphaBit. I'm a peer-to-peer trader, so I buy Bitcoin and sell it cash back and forth, mostly just in person in Las Vegas. And then there's some various sites that do it. IRC was the first one that first peer-to-peer Bitcoin exchange. It was on Freenode and hashtag Bitcoin BTC. From there, local Bitcoins. And then Paxful popped up, and a bunch of others, and now Floridisk, Desk, local CoinSwap, local cryptos. Now I left local Bitcoins because they started doing some heavy KYC. They wanted all kinds of documentation, and they would still reject you, possibly. So I left them. I help people with their wallets, things like that. Just getting basics set up. Sometimes there's some more advanced problems. I can't really do much for that. But trying to look for one of the more advanced people. So I can only code a little bit. I can only do so much. Jack of all trades, but that's for nothing. There's a few projects I'd like to see. Parallel structures. Stuff like insurance is moved up in the crypto space. I'm looking at doing a peer-to-peer shipping thing. I've gotten a few people interested, but it's really too big of a project for me to get going. I might start doing some kind of some token to fundraise for it or something eventually. Any questions about peer-to-peer trading or?
What exchange do you like to use for fiat crypto?
Disk and Agora Desk. I don't touch any custodial exchanges. Agora Desk does have a little bit of custody for a little while during the escrow period. But for an actual custodial exchange, I would say Kraken for America. They're one of the more crypto-friendly ones. Even the CEO said, don't leave your coins on here. If we have a warrant that says seize your assets or something, there's nothing we can do about it. They're tied. Keep your crypto in your own wallet. That's one of the things I go over when people come to me when they're first buying. It used to be a lot more often. Now someone has a new account, they're probably familiar with Bitcoin, but it's been make sure you write down your seed. There's 321 backup, 3 copies, 2 different mediums, one of them off-site. So if you get a USB stick or something, a piece of paper. A lot of people, they'll take their iPhone and go screenshot. No, don't do that. Now you got to generate a new wallet. Because if your iPhone backs up to the iCloud, your iCloud, somebody manages to figure out your password, or somebody that works at Apple figures out some way into it, then your seed is their seed. And the crypto is in crypto. So, and then there's also the non-fiat exchanges. Shapeshift was one of the first ones, and they claim to be zero custody or non-custodial or something. There's an argument on Twitter somewhere with me, Snowheld and Luke Dash Jr. Look, you guys are lying to the community saying that you're non-custodial when you take temporary custody. And it's all of these instant exchanges, the Shapeshift, Change Value, Change Now. You send them your coin, and they have it for some amount of time, usually 20 minutes to an hour, but sometimes it's 24 hours. Sometimes it goes over 24 hours. You have to send them an email, hey, what's going on? Occasionally they will just return it and go, oh, there's a bug. Other times they'll go, hey, where'd you get this? Send us your ID, send us your this, that, and they want to be wrong. So I don't like supporting those things. The peer-to-peer exchanges, you will still have to, if you're going with fiat, and you're using something like PayPal, there's a high risk of chargeback, and people are going to end up wanting to, I need your ID, I want to make sure you're not going to try and scam me. And IDs aren't good enough anymore. People will, okay, yeah, here's a picture of an ID, I just found this wallet on the street. Send me an ID with a selfie that's, the person holding the ID is the person you say they are. And we'll see. And this stuff started happening on, like local Bitcoins. People were wanting to see your ID. Early on, if you're doing something high risk like PayPal, then you go a couple years down the road. Now we're seeing all the banks are doing that as well. So this stuff is leading the way. Where you see people, individuals getting scammed, and the banks are seeing scams happening. Having to find ways to prevent people from doing stuff.
Any other questions?
Yeah. But,
Do you have individuals? So anybody can come to you, or
yeah, anybody. Yeah.
did you have a phone number or card, or?
Yep. I have a card on me now, pretty sure. My cards, I print them myself. There's a website, bctip.org, and you make Bitcoins, or you make your little card. It's got a number on it, and you can, there's a barcode on it. You go to the site, you can collect a small amount of Bitcoin. Good. Yeah, any others?
Good. Thank you, John. All right, that was John. You can find him online at OpticBit. OpticBit. He's on Twitter. Thank you so much, John. Really appreciate that. John brought up a couple of interesting things as far as security. We definitely want to talk about that. So we have Frank's going to come up here in a little bit, and he's going to talk a little bit about security, and then of course, just to reiterate, the changes that, or maybe they're not changes, but fiat on ramps that John recommends is BISC, BISQ, BISQ, and Agora Desk. And so definitely worth checking that out. Thank you again, John. I really appreciate it. We've got an amazing community here. The next speaker up is going to be a gentleman by the name of Noah. He's the man, the myth, the legend, and he's going to have a few words for you. Thank you, Noah.
Hey, how's it going? Really, what brought me out here is just I want to get more familiar with the crypto community in Vegas. Somewhat new to Vegas, so just wanted to tell a little bit about my story, what I do, and maybe people relate more, and of course, we'll relate on the cryptocurrency aspect. But basically, my journey starts off just wanting to be a stock trader. My most successful family member, they were a stock trader. I was like, hey, that sounds like a good gig. Click buttons and make money. And I had a really long journey trying to really learn that skill set, and it really wasn't something that was taught in school. It was like a 13-year journey of not being able to get taught how to trade. It was really weird. This was before the information era where you could just YouTube like how to trade, and I basically gave up on that dream until I graduated college. I actually shadowed people on the CME group and actually interned as a bond portfolio manager, and everybody was just kind of like data or like skill set hoarding. I don't know what you want to call it, but I eventually started giving up on that dream. But after I graduated and decided to shift paths and become a personal trainer, I found my wife now. She was trading, and I was like, how are you trading? I mean, I would even shadow people on the CME group, and nobody taught me anything. I even took like CFA level 1, and she's like, yeah, I have this organization that teaches people how to trade. There's organizations that teach you how to trade? This is wild to me. So I ended up going into these organizations and actually starting to learn that skill set, how to trade, and this was more so like indices and regular currencies. And through a long process of actually finding how to do this, it led me into like cryptocurrency. And I learned the power of cryptocurrency more so. And yes, I am a trader, and I actually now teach people how to trade cryptocurrencies, how to get into the crypto space. Really, my mission was what it did for me and what it's going to do for people. I think it's extremely powerful. I'm sure everybody in this room has seen somebody's life, if not our own lives, changed by cryptocurrency. And it's my mission to get people in front of this so that they don't have to worry as much about the money issue, right? And it's great to be part of innovation and part of what's developing, because the worst thing is getting into something that's like phasing out. So this is the spot where I feel like I can do a greater impact. I've been a part of a few organizations where we've gotten some people in front of this space and seen a group of us really finally have that breather financially, and it was awesome. So that led me into starting my own business and teaching people cryptocurrency, and eventually got recognized by some other members in this space. Now we're partnered up, and I have an organization where we teach people how to get into this space, how to invest, how to trade, whatever it might be, how to get involved in crypto. So that's really my mission. The organization that I'm with right now is called Driven Trading, and we teach all sorts of trading. But I'm the EVP of cryptocurrency, and we're doing some things here and there in the crypto space that I've enjoyed. One being teaching people how to trade, how to invest, how to set up wallets, developing some NFT projects, trying to get into more like the utility side, and within that NFT project have created our own metaverse. And like I said, we're an education organization to teach people how to trade, how to see the cryptocurrency space. So this whole metaverse is an education metaverse. So we created a giant digital stadium where everybody can walk in and like learn from different experts in the field. We have a mansion right now that's like a hangout spot. We have a Zen garden with like an event space. We have a garage where we're actually going to sell NFT cars that equate with physical cars. We can trade NFTs inside there. We have spots where we have private meetings or places where we can teach people how to trade. It's just an evolution of like how we do things now, like Zoom. I'm sure everybody knows here. the metaverse is where you finally can step into the screen, and it's pretty powerful. So we're on that fringe right now where we've developed that space, and we're just kind of allowing people to see this space. We'll have an event on Saturday that anybody here is welcome to attend. I just need your email address, and you'll be able to walk around and see our metaverse, see what we do. And really my mission is I don't want anything from anybody here. I just really want to, collaborate, see what everybody else is up to. But that's kind of the stuff that I've been up to. I've developed a few NFT projects. I'm in the mix of developing a secure wallet project, metaverse development. We have some pretty awesome development team. They're just so innovative. We saw them building out this whole new, metaverse vision before anybody else really was. And I feel like we're kind of, at least for my own self, but finally, it's starting to be getting ourselves in front of that wave, because like all of us here, we've seen this wave of Web3 coming along, and it's amazing. That's why we're all here together. We want to show everybody that vision, that's the future. And I think it's just it's so cool that we're all here ahead of this. And of course, the market's the market, the economy's the economy, but what we can all collaborate and develop between us is just super cool. I forgot who was talking about it, but like this space is such a collaborative space that's amazing. That's just so different than the siloed business that we had before, Web 2, if you will. Where you just had to get part of some gigantic company, work your way up, you really didn't have a say, but everybody here now has such a say in the next steps and has such ownership and stake in everything that's developed. It's just really cool. So I just made it my mission to hop out, just put myself out there wherever I can in this space, because I do have a deep mission when it comes to this. Like I said, I've seen not only myself, my life changed by this space. I've seen a lot of people's lives changed by this space. I think there's tremendous opportunities for us all. And if it's something that you feel like you have a sticking point or you need to learn more, I'm here to help wherever I can. I'm definitely not an expert by any means in any of this stuff. Just super passionate, and have just been fortunate to have a lot more support just kind of doing this stuff. So that's basically all I wanted to say is, again, my name is Noah DeFreitas. Anybody can follow me, say on Instagram. If you guys need to know how to spell that, just let me know. But Noah, D-E-F-R-A, should probably get you there. And I'm willing to help or connect or anything for this community. So just thank you guys a ton.
Awesome. Are you open to questions?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. What blockchain are you using for the metaverse?
Oh, we decided Ethereum, which is I'm regretting substantially right now because everything costs so much money. I'm like whitelisting people like batch by batch now to give them NFTs. And it's like $4, $6, $4. Oh. I'm like, my account's like draining. So we're thinking on switching over to something else like anything like that. But it was more so, like I said, our who we deal with is just like everybody was talking about, is how do we get everybody else in? So it's like, well, at least some people know about Ethereum. So we figured some people would have MetaMask wallets, and that was kind of the case. But really, if you can teach somebody to use one wallet, you can teach them to use kind of all the wallets. So we're definitely open to using other blockchains.
Beautiful. Any other questions?
A card? I don't. I'm like so.
We'll change emails.
Can we do our emails?
Yeah, I would love anybody's email. And like I said, we're doing a crypto fest in our metaverse. If anybody's like into that stuff or like wants to see what was that?
When is that?
It's this Saturday from I'm thinking Eastern time, so 10 a.m. to 12.
Is there a website for that?
Yes, it is. Let's see here. DrivenTradingAcademy.com is the website.
Can you give your cell so we can send our email to you?
Yes. If you guys are ready, I can give you my cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm totally open for anybody to message me. It is 630. That's a Chicago area code. So 442-9952. And again, it's Noah. And feel free to introduce yourself, shoot me your email. On Saturday, we're doing our metaverse. It's called Crypto Fest. I'll be just giving my vision into the metaverse on that. We can tour our mansion, our vision of like a really cool like Wolf of Wall Street like trading sanctuary. We have like the Wall Street Bulls. We have like digital McLarens and Lamborghinis, and we have this huge like trading wall of screens. Zen Garden, Kill Bill style. It's just fun, nerd stuff. So, yeah, if anybody wants to attend, I'll get you guys a ticket, and there's no strings attached whatsoever. Of course, we'll be talking about our trading organization and all that stuff. You'll learn more about that. We'll have like a dance performance in the metaverse. We have some of our educators. They're street performers. And they're really cool. They're super astute in crypto. They actually rap about crypto. So we're thinking about like making their songs, NFTs, and like just all sorts of fun stuff. So it's a way to definitely get connected with more and more people in the space. We have all age groups, and just really my mission is to get everybody ahead of the wave. That's definitely the thing. I think we're pretty. I have really no idea, but from what I know, I think we're really kind of pushing the fringe of this metaverse development, how we can use it, and I think it'll give all of us kind of some good ideas to start collaborating even more. And we're always open to building more and more. It's like who's our neighbors or what other stuff can we develop, and we're going to be doing more and more. So we're always going to need like fresh minds, fresh help into all facets of this. Any other questions?
What blockchain are you thinking about migrating to on Ethereum?
Oh, I'm open. I really, if whatever you guys are doing, I'm completely open. Like I said, we're open to anything, and it's just been really awesome. I feel like I'm in like finally the right path. Like doors are opening in the right way, like I would never believe. Not to say things are easy. I mean, everybody's crypto portfolio probably looks like dust right now, but it's really cool to see what comes about just putting ourselves out there.
Okay, thank you, Noah.
Cool, thank you guys.
All right. Great stuff. So there's Noah's contact information here, and there it is.
Beautiful, thank you.
And that's Crypto Fest.
Yep, Crypto
Fest.
Driven
Driven Trading Academy.
Yes.
DrivenTradingAcademy.com. Awesome. We're always excited to hear about new NFT projects. That is the leading edge. That is emerging technology, and that's what we're all excited to be hearing about. And so, thanks, Noah. Thank you.
Has any of you guys, just real quick, have you gone inside like metaverses, like Decentraland or anything like that?
So there's some metaverse experience here in the house.
Okay.
Spatial,
Yeah.
Decentraland.
Okay.
Sandbox. I'm in Uplift World. Uplift.world. So I'll be talking a little bit about that here shortly. But the metaverse is absolutely cutting edge, and we're excited to be part of it, and we'll try to be there on Saturday.
Cool.
That'll be fun. Thank you. Okay, so we still have a couple more speakers. Looking forward to it. And we have some new people that just showed up. So if anybody wants to speak, just let me know. More than happy to have you up. And who's next? Frank?
I guess so.
If you're ready? Frank's ready. Okay, Frank's going to give us a little talk about security. This is the type of thing you might want to take notes on. Frank knows quite a bit. He's just going to give you an outline, kind of, good practices, right? So security best practices, and it's extremely helpful here in our community. Keep everyone safe, and make sure that you're keeping your coins safe, and of course, not your keys, not your coins. And so, just a great reminder: these centralized exchanges like Coinbase and Binance, places like that, anywhere where you have to put your ID and your name and all your information in, at any point in time, they can stop you from transacting. Coinbase has a history of this. Of course, all exchanges, centralized exchanges are like that, so you want to be very careful when you're using centralized exchanges. Again, I'd like to thank John for his recommendation of Disk. Amazing services there, and Agora Desk. So some good options for you guys.
So my name is Frank. I work in the information security space. Some people would call me a hacker, a white hat. What I do generally is a thing called penetration testing, where I help companies by breaking into them the way a hacker would, and then putting together a plan of attack on how they could fix the issues that led me to being able to get in. I'm a pretty technical person and a friend of Mike's, so when he told me he was having this meetup, I thought I'd come by, give a little talk on just some things you can do to keep yourself safe online. Generally speaking, everybody kind of knows about things like multi-factor authentication at this point, but what a lot of people don't know is that you should not be using your phone with SMS, that is text messaging, as a second factor. This is a big deal nowadays because it is incredibly easy for people to be able to spoof SMS messages. And also, there was a recent development by a hacker named Lucky225 who figured out a way to take advantage of mass marketing email services that allow you to send SMSs to your customers to register phone numbers he himself did not actually own, and then be able to receive replies sent to those phone numbers. And he was able to leverage this attack to bypass MFA when people use their text messages as the second factor. So this is a really important kind of thing to know nowadays, is not to use Google's authenticator if you're going to just also have that backup enabled where you can get into your stuff by your text messages. Because if a threat actor gets the ability to read your text messages, they now have access to your Google account. From your Google account, most people store all their passwords in Chrome. When you do this, if somebody then gets into your Chrome account, they now have access to all your accounts. So it's not a good it's not a good idea to put all your eggs in one basket. You should be using what's called a password generator. There are lots of them online. There's free ones, there's paid ones. I'm not going to recommend any specific one. But it is a good practice to use one of these to store all your passwords and use a password phrase to get into it. That is where, instead of a typical password like a word and a number and maybe an exclamation point at the end, you use a phrase that is unique to you that might just be things on your desk. You know, you look around, correct, horse, staple, battery, you put those together in a sentence. That's your password for your essentially your password for your passwords. You remember it, you don't write it down, you don't text it to anybody, you don't put it on a piece of paper that you leave next to your computer. That's the most important thing right now. I think that a lot of people use the same password on a lot of the same websites. And when a hacker gets access to one of your passwords through a database breach, there are sites like dhash.com that will compile that information about all those passwords that have been leaked. And you can then search for your own name, and it'll give you a list of the passwords you've used in the past on all different websites like adobe.com, or anyone that's had a major data breach where they're able to take the hash of those passwords and reverse it back into the password form, which is happening almost every day. Another big threat nowadays is ransomware that everybody's facing, whether it be your mom and pop small shop or Fortune 500 company. Protecting yourself against ransomware is more important now than ever. And there are a few tips I can give you. If you are doing a corporate environment, never give anybody administrative rights who doesn't need it. And you're always going to make sure when people are installing programs that they have to go through some kind of authorization process. And only whitelisted programs will be allowed to run on the computers. But if you are a home user, it's a bit more difficult. One of the things you can do that will keep your computer as secure as possible is making sure all your things are up to date with patches. If you're using a PC, like a Windows PC, you want to make sure you're getting those Windows updates and not just delaying them when you see it at the bottom of the taskbar. But you also want to make sure all those third-party applications are up to date as well. That would be things like Chrome. Chrome recently had a bunch of zero-day exploits that would allow threat actors, when you browse to the sites that they control, to be able to gain remote access to your machine. Luckily, Chrome was able to patch these remote code execution vulnerabilities very quickly and then put them through their patch network. Where anybody who runs Chrome, when you restart it, it's like, hey, there's a new update, or it puts an exclamation point in the top corner. Regardless of the fact that they patched it quickly, there's still a lot of people running outdated versions. And it's not just Chrome. There are other programs people might have on their computers that are definitely way out of date, such as Adobe Flash, which has been end of life and not even used anymore. People still have it on their computers, and that introduces a way that people can get in. You should be running a firewall. I'm not talking about a really expensive corporate firewall. Most home routers have one built in. People just don't configure it properly. They just leave it with the default settings. There's a thing on there called UPnP, Universal Plug and Play, that if you have that enabled, which is enabled by default on almost all home routers, you're going to have issues because it enables any computer on your network to open a port to the outside. And a lot of these smart home devices, whether it be your internet-connected ice tray or whatever vanity, stupid internet of crap thing you've bought that is sitting on your home network, it's now able to open a port. And a port is kind of a technical thing where essentially it's opening a door into your network from the outside, and people are able to walk through that door, so to speak. So you want to be careful about what doors you open and who you allow access to, what ports are open on your router. And the best way of doing this is logging into your administrative portal. If you're using Cox, which is very popular around here, you can log in through their website and go modify your router settings through an internet web interface on their website. Most people have a home router though, going to log into it on 192.168.0.1 or some similar address and be able to configure your settings properly. Man, that feedback's hell. So these are some very basic steps that you can take to stay safer online. Patch management, like I said, is such a huge deal nowadays that one of the biggest ways people are getting in when they're doing network recon is finding these ports that are open through UPnP that shouldn't be, finding exploits for vulnerable IoT devices, and then using that as a pivot into your network. The next biggest threat actor technique that I've seen is called BEC, or Business Email Compromise, but they also target home users. This is your category that includes phishing emails, targeted attacks with Microsoft Word payloads that when you open them, Microsoft Word actually end up compromising your machine. A recent exploit was called Felina. This was very, very big in our industry because it actually took advantage of the Microsoft Windows error handling service itself to conduct remote code execution. All somebody had to do was open a Word document or an Excel file that was sent to them, and the next thing you knew, their computer was compromised and the threat actor had access to it. It's a big deal to patch it. Very, very late night activities for many sysadmins trying to get all these Microsoft Word programs up to date with the latest patches. So they don't necessarily update from Microsoft Windows Store and Microsoft Windows updates. So these are some things that I can just kind of tell you that will help increase your overall security. Two-factor or three-factor, that's something you have, something you hold, something you are. Everything you can. So even if you don't think the account is important now, it might be important later. You should spend a Saturday or Sunday when you're not doing anything going through all the websites where you've used the same password, maybe that golden password that you use for everything that you don't care about, and replacing it with a randomly generated one from a password manager. Doing this is going to greatly increase your security, and also setting up MFA properly on your phone. Google Authenticator is completely free and supported on a lot of websites. If you don't like Google Authenticator, there's a lot of competitors out there that do the same thing where you can scan a QR code and then it generates a random number that changes once a minute. You type that number into the website or you click the prompt that says yes or no, and you're able to get into the sites that you want to get into. Once you have it set up properly, it's just as easy as typing a password with maybe having to take out your phone every now and then and being like, hit a button, yes, I approve. When you make security systems that are scalable and easy to use, people will use them, but if you make things really hard where your grandmother or your friend next door who doesn't know about computers can't figure them out, people are not going to use them. And that's why we have a lot of systems that are very poorly secured, a lot of networks out there that are using outdated Wi-Fi protocols, some sent to people by their ISPs themselves, where essentially the default network you set up that you're sharing your Wi-Fi on to all your friends and family is easily breakable. It's easy for a person who knows what they're doing to break into. And the ease of access to the tools to break into these systems is really low nowadays because there's places like Hack5 that will sell to anybody where they've automated the whole Wi-Fi hacking process onto a tool called a Wi-Fi Pineapple, where you can literally plug into your computer without the knowledge needed to know how to hack a Wi-Fi network, click a few buttons and get into a Wi-Fi network. So as a person who is very privacy-minded, if you are running a Wi-Fi network on your home, you want to make sure you have the latest security standards enabled, which right now are WPA2. You want to make sure that you turn off things that you don't need, like UPnP on your router. You want to secure things as best as possible on your, not just your home network, but your online life. where people are not going to be able to take advantage of you. Be aware of the social engineering attacks. You've probably heard people talking about the scams that are happening all the time here in terms of the NFT market and also in terms of people stealing people's Bitcoins. In the news recently, we saw Seth Green, who plays Chris on Family Guy and was in a lot of 80s movies. He was starting a new show, and he based his character off of a Bored Ape NFT that he had bought, only to have himself get phished and then lose his Bored Ape and no longer own the rights to his own show. And then he had to negotiate with a third-party market to get his NFT back, and he had to pay for it again. Because the bad guy who took it had already sold it somewhere and it had been resold. So it was a process for him to get it back. It was a pain. And if you secure your things properly and you don't click, another thing, don't click links in email. I know it's easier sometimes to click the link to go to where you're going to go, but unless it's a password reset link that you asked for, just don't click them at all. Just go to the website itself, log in, and go to where you want to go. So much safer that way. And those are just a few tips and tricks that I have. If anybody has any questions, I'm always happy to talk shop, and that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Like cloning it to a device you don't really use, or how hard is it to restore it? Do you lose your
Google
phone?
Authenticator.
So Google Authenticator recently came out with the ability to export your keys to another device you scan a QR code that you generate within the app onto another copy of Authenticator. So it's fairly easy with Google Authenticator to actually have your keys on multiple devices where the rolling codes will update the same on both devices. So if you felt the need to do that, you could do that. Also, if you only have one device, there are apps that will let you run things sandboxed, where they're not able to either communicate to the internet or things of that nature if you're very paranoid about your codes. So you can further secure them by sandboxing your authenticator once it's initially had that internet access.
Good. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Frank's the guy I turn to when I have security issues, and it's always happening. There's always a 0 day coming out. So he's absolutely huge help. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really appreciate that. Great presentation. We'll have lots of questions afterwards as well. In the meantime, I wanted to bring up another one of our great community members. Matt, if you're ready.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I also want to thank our sponsor, our food and drink sponsor. So if you guys are thirsty, don't hesitate. Hit the bar. Ray's happy to help you out. We can do some more food. If anybody's still hungry, just let me know. And thank you, Matt. We'll look forward to hearing from you.
All right, hello. So yeah, I'm Matt. I'm a retired Air Force pilot. I've been hanging out and just doing some things in Europe and running around, trying to figure out what I'm going to do now that I've retired from the Air Force, and kind of slowly making my way into commercial flying. But this other thing called blockchain and Bitcoin is something that has been, it's weighed heavy on my mind for about 5 years now, and I'm trying to think, well, maybe there's some other business ideas that I should pursue instead. Really there's two different ideas. If anybody wants to talk about them or collaborate, I'm looking at just trying to advance a couple of things that I think are real important right now, just like socially and out there in the news. So these ideas might not be big money makers. I've got an MBA. I don't really see a great path on, hey, we can make a whole lot of money on these ideas. But a couple things going on in the background, I guess. But okay, so the first one has to do with like gun control, and maybe there's a way we can put blockchain technology or NFTs or get some kind of maybe an NFT receipt to go with each gun, and perhaps just like I have a lot of experience flying drones, and I know that small drones, you can't fly them within an airport. Now, I'm not proposing that we have some type of gun control or gun safety where it blocks people from being able to use their firearm within a certain area, but drones are produced in such a way where you can't use them, within a certain distance of an airport or other safety areas. And so perhaps there might be a way, especially with Web 3.0 and decentralization, and maybe people can have control over their own firearm in some electronic way, to where if you have control, just like you have control financially with Bitcoin, your keys, your coin, perhaps you could have some sort of development there with gun control as well. Maybe just controlling your weapon, or having access to where and wherever it is, to possibly alert other people. If your weapon was stolen and then it's gone within a certain public safety area, a school or a hospital or something like that. If you want to collaborate, if you want to talk about it, that'd be awesome. The other idea, again, probably not a huge money maker, but I think it's something big in the news, and I think blockchain might have a solution there some way, is just with voting. If there's a way we can have like an NFT receipt for each vote that is cast, then perhaps then you can ensure that, hey, one vote, one citizen, one vote, and that if we can start developing some kind of system or protocol around this. Now again, both of these are probably like non-profit ideas, but if you want to talk about them, if you want to start collaborating, if you know any developers, blockchain developers, or build upon second, third layer Bitcoin or something like that, to start figuring out if it's possible. I'm sure there's tons of different stakeholders that are going to have to weigh in on such things. But my name's Matt. My phone number is 702-503-0690. ColoradoMatt@gmail.com if you want my email. And be happy to talk to anybody who wants to press or just brainstorm about some of that. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much again for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Always a good time, great community, good people. We have a crypto OG in the house. I won't name him. He's here.
I am Satoshi.
It's Satoshi. Satoshi's in the house. Satoshi is in the house. So good times are had by all. Just wanted to mention again our sponsor, Prasaga, food and drink sponsor. Thank you so much. It's really appreciated. The whole community appreciates it. I want to thank the GOAT. I want to thank Ray back there, our bartender. Ray's doing a great job. Be sure to tip Ray. He deserves it. He's working hard. He's working hard tonight. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you all for showing up. Real briefly, just wanted to talk a little bit about the Crypto Mindset Reset. This is an idea I had a couple months ago. The idea is to get a community together, a wider community, and really push the original crypto ethos, which is obviously peer-to-peer, decentralized, distributed. This is a community that cares about each other, a lot like our Vegas Crypto group, knowledgeable, friendly group of people that really want to just help each other and see everyone succeed in this space. And that's really why I hold these meetups. Vegas Crypto Group is so important to me. So if you want to know more, go to vegascryptogroup.com. We'll have all our meetups there. And if you want to keep the conversation going, and please do, you can join our Discord. And so there's a link right on vegascrypto.com. Join our Discord, and we can all keep the conversation going. One of my most favorite things. So back to the Crypto Mindset Reset. We're going to do a virtual summit. This is far and beyond your average virtual summit, so it won't be like a webinar. It won't be like a Zoom call. It's a 3D environment. Really, really amazing, real engaging. We'll have polls. We'll have a lot of gamification, so there'll be leaderboards. We're doing trivia. We're doing a treasure hunt. And there's so much else involved. There's NFTs. We're going to be talking about privacy. We're going to be talking about security. We're going to be talking about decentralized exchanges. And really, it's a conference to encourage people to be the change. And so get involved, be active. Don't come in and just expect to watch. We want you to learn and then put into action what you've learned. And so that's really what the Crypto Mindset Reset is all about. And we're going to bring that community worldwide. So excited about that. And that is at the end of October. That is the end of October. You can go to cryptomindsetreset.com. cryptomindsetreset.com. Go ahead and put your email address in there, and we'll make sure everyone is hooked up with tickets. It's a free conference, so check it out. We'd just love to have you. We're signing up speakers now and partners, and so I have a lot that I could reveal right now, but I'd rather not. So but there's some amazing people involved, and it's just going to be a great summit. And so you'll be hearing a lot more about that in the coming weeks. Be sure to check out cryptomindsetreset.com. We do have a metaverse clip. I'm going to put that back up. We've got an amazing metaverse clip. We're developing the Uplift world, so uplift.world. If you're not familiar with it, it's a metaverse built on Minecraft. And of course, there's like 1 billion Minecraft players worldwide. And this is an amazing metaverse. It's run on a Wax blockchain. You can actually own your property through the Ethereum blockchain as well. And so there's a lot to talk about with that. This is just going to be a sneak preview on the screen, but in our metaverse plot, we'll have meeting rooms, so much like what we're doing today, except for a virtual world. So it's going to give us a lot more flexibility. So as far as exchanging contact information, well, that's easy in the metaverse, you know. And of course, private places to meet. We'll also have a beautiful meditation room, a mindfulness area. We're going to have games and just a ton of great things to do there on the Metaverse plot. And so, again, VegasCrypto.com, VegasCryptoGroup.com for more information on that. And in the meantime, I think we've had almost everybody. I think you would you like to speak? Okay. Anyone else who would like to speak, please raise your hand. Let me know now. We got any final thoughts? Okay. I think we've covered just about everything, guys. I just want to reiterate how important these meetups are. It's in the white paper. This meetup is in Satoshi's white paper. It talks about this meetup. You guys remember reading about Vegas Crypto in the white paper? No? Okay, well, it does say peer-to-peer. It does say peer-to-peer, and so that really is one of the most important elements of crypto and our crypto community is being able to exchange peer-to-peer. And it's absolutely possible through local Bitcoins, local Monero, or wherever, whatever you're using. And that's great to communicate with each other. But having a meetup, our monthly meetup, and coming out here and meeting people face to face, knowing you can trust them, knowing that we're here to help support you and make any changes that you might need to make. This is exactly why I think it's so important to have a community. And Vegas is a growing community. We may be in a bear market, but we've got a great crowd out here tonight that's dedicated, that's committed. We've got some incredible projects. Definitely reach out to everybody. And so I'll just go ahead and do a quick summary. Majid, thank you so much for your time today. One of the most exciting projects in my mind is that NFT horse racing, and I want a horse. So sign me up for a horse, and I'm looking forward to checking that out. Noah had some great projects. So Noah, I had your information. Thank you so much for speaking, and everybody, Matt, and just everyone for coming out and speaking. Frank was a great security expert, and so if you have any security questions, bring it to Vegas Crypto Group. Join our Discord. We want to be able to help you out. And of course, if you're watching this later, thank you to Xander for doing the filming. Really appreciate it. Great job for Xander. Really appreciate it. And so Xander is filming. We'll have this posted somewhere soon. Again, probably VegasCryptoGroup.com. And so if you have questions down the road, join our Discord. Friendly, knowledgeable group of people that just want to help each other out. And that's what we're doing here in Vegas. And so if you'd like to be part of that, definitely let me know. Also soliciting for Crypto Mindset Reset speakers and sponsors. And so if anyone's interested in that, definitely reach out, let me know. You can reach me at Mike@lifesizebox.com. Mike@lifesizebox.com. Think outside the box. Think outside your life-size box. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, before we wrap up real quick, guys, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to a couple people that should have been here to speak, weren't able to make it. Mark is a local comedian. Definitely want to hear more from him. Join the Discord, get some more information on that. Mark is from joke.community. Joke.community, and what Mark does, he has a comedy club. Well, him and all his partners have a comedy club in the metaverse. And they do weekly comedy shows, and it's the first ever comedy club in the metaverse. A lot of fun. So that's joke.com. If you ever want to check that out. One other speaker that I'm disappointed wasn't able to make it. That's okay. But Jim Blasco of Aspire Chain. So Aspire's additional blockchain that's combining a number of different technologies, including counterparty and some other things. And it's a really incredible blockchain. And so I'm sorry Jim didn't make it, but I wanted everyone to be aware. Aspire blockchain. He also hosts Bitcoin meetups. And so if you're on meetup.com, look for the Bitcoin meetup here in Vegas, and Jim is the host of that, so he'll be able to tell you more about Aspire at his next meetup. And sorry, I just wanted to mention that. And one last thing, I just wanted to thank the sponsor again, Prasaga. Prasaga's doing great work. They are the world's first single-layer blockchain, and there's a lot more to be learned at prasaga.com. And also, if I could quickly plug Spore Baby. So this is a company that I started a few years ago. We sell magic mushroom spores, 100% legal, 100% genuine, and of course, we do accept crypto. And so, absolutely, if you're looking for spores, feel free to go to sporebaby.com. We'd love to have you check it out, and you can also come talk to me, and I'm happy to help you out and let you know if you have any questions, what you need to know. And so again, thank you again for coming out. But again, I just want to thank you again for coming out. You guys are really, really special to me, really, really awesome. And we have another meetup happening October 20th. Put it on your calendar. It's on meetup.com. You can see it on vegascryptogroup.com. October 20th, it's the pre-Litecoin Summit. I think everybody's excited about the Litecoin Summit coming to Vegas. There's also Coin Agenda the same week. And so we're going to have a meetup on the 20th. It's a beautiful location, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you don't win Litecoin Summit tickets today, don't fret. October 20th, we're going to have another drawing for 2 more tickets. But for now, let's go ahead and do the drawing real quick. Let's see if everybody's ready. All right. Just want to make sure everybody has a ticket. Everybody has a ticket. Last chance, last call for a raffle ticket. Last chance, last call. Mixing it up and not looking. I do not have a ticket in the bucket. And let's find out who the big winner is. Go ahead and get your ticket out, and we'll read the numbers here. And this is the lucky winner. I can already tell. I know they're here too. All right, let's see. With my eyes. Yes. Ticket number 088012. Oh, we got a winner! Hey, we got a winner! All right, beautiful.
Still fresh.